So in today's Vlogmas video, the tip is I'm going to show you how to apply eyeshadow for beginners. So I'm going to do a very nice, easy, neutral eye look with shades that you can find anywhere from the drugstore to Sephora to very high end. And I will show you how to apply each and every one of those shades and where each color should go on your eyelids. I will also show you the brushes I'm going to use. All you need is 5 brushes total, 3 for top, 2 for bottom, and that's it. Let's get started. Okay, so first and foremost, I will have to prime my eyes. You can use an eye primer, but my favorite to use lately has been the NARS Light 1 Chantilly Soft Matte Concealer. I love this one. It's just a potted concealer. Very nice and creamy, and I like to warm it up and just apply it over the eyelid. It's very strong, so a little bit goes a long way. This makes the eyeshadow last longer throughout the day and stick to your eyelid. And after I do this, I like to set it with my Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Brightening Flawless Powder, and it's the white one. And I think I'm gonna use a BK Beauty 108 brush and just dust some powder on the eyelid. This kind of helps the concealer from not creasing too much. Actually, I'm going to show you the 2 eyeshadows I'm going to work with, and I'm going to use 2 because I have this beautiful cocoa shade in the Natasha Denona Biba palette, and I'm going to have to get into this shade at some point, but I'm going to work with my Natasha Denona Mini Nude palette. This is such a beautiful palette to have in your collection. It's just beautiful for everyone. Oh, you guys, I just picked this up from Starbucks. Look how nice. It's green. I love green. Green is my favorite color. As you can see, I have my green lights in the background. But this is just, isn't this pretty? This is not sponsored or anything. I just wanted to show you. I just put my iced coffee in here, and it comes with a twisting lid. Love this mug. I picked it up because of the color. Okay, so let's zoom you in. Actually, before I zoom you in, I'm going to show you the brushes. So I'm going to be using the BK Beauty brushes, and I have 3 brushes for the top lids, and I'm gonna show you when I use them. But I have the 202, 211, and 209 if you're wondering. And for the bottom, I have 2 brushes right here. I have the 207 and the 204. So let's get and create a nice neutral eye look. So here are the tips. Above your crease, you are going to use the lightest shade. It's called a transition shade. And for that, I'm going to go into this biggest fluffy brush, and this is the BK Beauty 202 brush. You can see that it's a little bit bigger than the next one we're going to use. And we're going to go into the lightest shade, and this is from the Natasha Denona Mini Nude palette, and I think this is shade Sienna. And you want to apply this just above your crease. So you want to look straight into the mirror, and you can see where I've applied it above my fold here. And then you can slowly start blending. And take your time blending, don't rush. You don't want to see any harsh lines. So you bring it close to the brow bone, but you want to leave this area clear of the brown shadow because this is where you want to apply highlighter. And I have covered highlighter in a previous video. If you would like to check that video out, I can link everything down below. Okay, so now that the transition color is on, we're going to go into the next brush, which is a BK Beauty 211 brush, which is smaller. And now we're going to go into the Biba palette because we want to get a darker shade than the transition. And I think I want to stick with a warm shade. I think best one is this one, Cocoa, right there. And you want to apply this right into the crease. So at first, I just close my eye a little bit. And then I'm going to open and apply it so that when my eye is open, you want to see this crease shade, this darker shade. Because if you apply it while your eye is closed and you apply it right into the crease, when you open your eye, you don't see that nice shadowy darker shade. So it's okay to close it at first and then open it, and then you can realize that you need to bring it a little bit more upwards. So you want to look right in front of your mirror and keep your eyes open and just keep blending. So you can see the difference from this eye and this eye. You see how nice it just opened up the eye much more than this one. And again, you can just slowly blend and diffuse everything. Looks so pretty. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to the outer corner. And for the outer corner, we're using brush number 3, and that's a BK Beauty 209. And you can see that it's this more flat, dense brush. And we're gonna go into the darkest color into this mini nude palette, which is this one right here. And we're going to apply this just in the outer corner in a position this way, like this. So you basically go this way. At an angle, you apply it. Kind of like a wing. And you keep applying here on the lid to darken this outer area out. So you can just tap the shade on your lid. So it's okay if it goes into the crease because it's a dark shade. And now you go back to the middle brush, which is this 211, which we've used for the crease. And you just want to diffuse any sharpness. So just slowly blend the edges. You see how pretty that looks? It creates this nice, and if you do come down, don't worry, you can always use concealer to clean it, but always use, I suggest to use a flat brush like this and apply the shadow at an angle from the crease downwards to the lid, because if you go with a fluffy brush, I made this mistake, and if you go with a fluffy brush and you apply the darkest shade here, you don't get this nice edge here. Okay, so make sure you just slowly blend everything. Okay, so let's move on to the middle part of the eye. So for the middle part of the eye, we're going to play with 2 shimmers today for the middle and the inner corner. So you want to keep in mind that the inner corner should be the lightest and it goes slowly to the darkest. Okay, so let me finish this eye first and then we're going to move on to the shimmers. Okay, so let's move on to this shade right here, which is this darkest sparkly shade, and I'm going to use my finger. That's all you need. So we're basically done with the brushes for the top part. Grab this much and you want to add it right in the middle and you just tap it on. You can bring it up to the crease. It's okay if it touches the crease. It's not a big deal. You want to apply it where it connects with that darker shade so that you kind of blend those 2 lines together. Then you want to clean your hand and you want to get the lightest shade, which is this champagne one. And with the finger, make sure you don't have any of that dark shade on your finger. This is so intense. And you want to apply it in the inner corner. I love, this is my favorite shade in here. So you want to apply the inner corner and slowly dab it on top of that line where the darkest shimmery shade starts. So this is what the eye looks like. So let's finish the other eye. Okay, so this is what the top should look like. Very, very easy. You can always go into your first fluffy brush and reblend these edges to kind of diffuse this area a little bit more. And that's the top for the eyes. Now let's move on to the bottom eyes. And like I said, for the bottom eyes, this is not a must, but this is how I like to do it. So you can leave the eyes like this, apply mascara, and you're good to go. But I like to add a little bit more warmth to the bottom lashes in this case to show you. And I have the 2 brushes. So I have a 204 and 207 brush. At first, I'm going to go with the 204, which is very flat and more hard, which is good to apply your shadow, and then the next one, it's good to kind of blend it. So I think I'm just going to go with the darker shade. That's all I'm going to use right here. And you just want to dab the eyeshadow close to the lash line for now. And then you can kind of smudge it. In this case, we're going to bring it all the way in. And you see how I'm just smudging it now. First, I applied it really close to the lash line, and now I'm smudging it. Now I'm going to go in with that BK Beauty 207 brush, and just diffuse it so it's not so sharp. So you can see that diffusing it kind of blends it with the top. And look at the difference in this eye and this eye. So you can choose whatever you prefer. You can go with a cleaner eye like this. Sometimes I like to stop and just leave it like this. Sometimes I like to add a little bit more smokiness to the eye. So here is the eye with mascara and here is the eye without mascara. What do you guys think? You see the big difference? Oh, I just love it. I love like a nice white eye, smoky, and these neutral colors are just the best. Okay, and this is what the final eye look turned out to be. I think it's just beautiful, very simple. And here's a close-up. And here it is from afar. You see how brightening and I don't know, it just looks very neutral, very natural. I really love it. This palette, you can't go wrong with it. But you can use any type of palette, anything that's neutral, nude. Always remember this rule. You need 3 brushes for the top, 2 brushes for the bottom based on what I've showed you. Always remember to go from the lightest to the darkest and then from the darkest to the lightest. That's what you need to remember from this video. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to subscribe and I cannot wait to see you in my next one. Love you guys. Bye.